of the embodied. Asmin, in this. Yatha, as. Dehe, in the body. Dehino asmin yatha dehe. Komaram, boyhood. Yovanam, youth. Jara, old age. Komaram yovanam jara. Tatha, similarly. Dehantara, of transference of the body. Praptihi, achievement. Tatha dehantaram prapti. Dhiraha, the sober. Tatra, thereupon. Na, never. Muhyati, is deluded. Dhirastatra na muhyati. Dehino asmin yatha dehe. Komaram yovanam jara. Tatra dehantaram prapti. Dhirastatra na muhyati. Dehino asmin yatha dehe. Komaram yovanam jara. Tatra dehantaram praptam. Dhirastat na muhyati. Dehino asmin yatha dehe. Kumaranam yovanam jara. Dehantaram prapti. Dhirastatra muhyati. Dehino asmin yatha dehe. Kumaram yovanam jara. Tatha dehantaram prapti. Dhiram tatna muhyati. Dehino asmin yatha dehe. Komaram yovanam jara. Tatra dehantaram prapti. Dhirastatra na muhyati. Dehino asmin yatha dehe. Komaram yovanam jara. Tatra dehantaram prapti. Dhirastatra na muhyati. Please speak. Dehina, of the embodied. Asmin, in this. Yatha, as. Dehe, in the body. Komaram, boyhood. Yovanam, youth. Jara, old age. Tatha, similarly. Dehantara, of transference of the body. Praptihi, achievement. Dhiraha, the sober. Tatra, thereupon. Na, never. Muhyati, is deluded. Translation. Please repeat. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ji. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing his body every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, and sometimes as an old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. The individual soul finally changes the body at death and transmigrates to another body. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there will be no cause for lamentation by Arjun on account of death, neither for Bhishma nor for Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. Rather, he should rejoice for their changing bodies from old to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. Such changes of body account for varieties of enjoyment or suffering according to one's work in life. So, Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have spiritual bodies in the next life, or at least life in heavenly bodies for superior enjoyment of material existence. So, in either case, there was no cause of lamentation. Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul, and nature, both material and spiritual, is called a dhira, or a most sober person. Such a man is never deluded by the change of bodies. The Mayavadi theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained on the ground that the spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces as a fragmental portion. Such cutting into different individual souls would make the supreme cleavable or changeable against the principle of supreme souls being unchangeable. As confirmed in Gita, the fragmental portions of the supreme exist eternally, Sanatan, and are called Kshara, that is, they have a tendency to fall down into material nature. These fragmental portions are eternally so, and even after liberation, the individual soul remains the same, fragmental. But once liberated, he lives an eternal life in bliss and knowledge with the personality of Godhead. The theory of reflection can be applied to the super soul, who is present in each and every individual body and is known as Paramatma. He is different from the individual living entity. When the sky is reflected in water, the reflections represent both the sun and the moon and the stars also. The stars can be compared to the living entities and the sun or the moon to the Supreme Lord. The individual fragmental spirit soul is represented by Arjun, and the Supreme Soul is the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. They are not on the same level, as it will be apparent in the beginning of the 4th chapter. If Arjun is on the same level with Krishna and Krishna is not superior to Arjun, then the relationship of instructor and the instructed becomes meaningless. If both of them are deluded by the illusory energy, Maya, then there is no need of one being the instructor and the other the instructed. Such instruction would be useless because in the clutches of Maya, no one can be an authoritative instructor. Under the circumstances, it is admitted that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, superior in position to the living entity, Arjuna, who is a forgetful soul deluded by Maya. So, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as stated by Srila Prabhupada many times in his writings and lectures, is the preliminary knowledge of soul or science of God. It is called as the ABCD of spiritual knowledge. So, those who are interested students for spirituality, so they should seriously take the study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So it provides us the basic understanding about the science of God. So science of God is actually very deep topic. So this is greatest knowledge. So in Vedas basically means knowledge. So Srila Vyasdev, the literary incarnation of Lord Krishna, so he has written Vedas, 4 Vedas. So now as time passed, people were not able to undergo all the Vedic studies. So he compiled down Vedas into Vedanta Sutra, and the Srimad Bhagavatam follows as the natural commentary for Vedanta Sutra, and there were itihasas, Ramayana, Mahabharata. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita is a part of itihas called Mahabharata, and it is the one of the topmost of the Upanishads called Gita Upanishad. So every serious aspiring person or devotee should undertake serious study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So here we are in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. So here the topics of Bhagavad Gita are summarized here. For thorough understanding of the subject matter, one should seriously study chapter 2 and chapter 13. So this gives us the major idea about this major idea about this talk between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. So we can grasp an overall picture. So this second chapter is one of the most important. So here the situation is that on the battlefield, Arjuna is playing the part of a conditioned soul. Arjuna is actually eternal consort, he is eternal associate of Lord. He is called Nar, and Lord Krishna as Narayan, in Nar Narayan form, they stay in Badrika ashram in the Himalayas. So there is a mountain called Narayan, and there is other mountain called Nar. So they are doing their austerities to set example for the following of the common person. So though that was recommended path of self-realization in the Satyuga, not for now, though still they exist there, devotees go there, Badrika ashram. So Arjuna though is the eternal associate, but because unless he plays the role of a conditioned soul, so it is something like setting, then how this conversation or dialogue can take place. So Arjuna is playing this part. So he says that he is a Kshatriya by birth, by his nature, and they are present on the battlefield. And now seeing his relatives on the other side of the ground, so he becomes perplexed. So his hand is shivering, and his mouth is drying up, and his bow Gandiv is slipping from his hands, and he is completely overtaken by grief, and out of grief he is sitting, and he lost his composure. This is a situation actually, it is picturizing the situation of any living being. So we have to take like Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna, so we have to accept it as it is instruction meant for us. Arjuna is an eternal liberated being, so it is an instruction for us. So now Arjuna is then in this situation, so what is the solution? So solution is that Arjun now feeling himself uh, unable to cope with the situation, he want to surrender to Krishna. So he in this situation surrenders to the Lord, uh, and he says Shishyasteham Mam Prapannam. So he told that so far they are related, Arjun and Krishna, in Sakhya Ras, in the mode of friendship. So but now being on equal level, one cannot take instruction from the instructor. So as Prabhupada told in last paragraph of his purport, that one has to be the instructor has to be a self-realized. If both are on same level, both are conditioned, then how the other one person can help the another person? So this way Arjuna takes the subordinate position, and he asks Lord Krishna to take over and instruct him in this science. So this is the solution here. So in Upanishad also it is said, tad vigyanartham sa guru eva vigachet. So means to know this science, so one should approach the realized bona fide spiritual master. And another place scriptures it is mentioned, acharyavan purusho veda. Acharyavan, van means who possess acharya, means one who has acharya in his life, one who has guru, he has knowledge. So this is actually spiritual science. It comes by another wonderful slok in Bhagavad Gita, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekyanti te jnanam jnaninam tattvadarshina. So who is a self-realized soul, so he knows the truth. So one has to approach him and serve him, and then he gets the adhikar to ask the questions. Not that right away you go and start asking questions to clear your doubts. The process is being told here. So here Arjuna came in fear or anxiety. Why is it so? So the preliminary teaching of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is starting from this shloka. This is called confidential knowledge. In Vedas, they consists of Karam Kand portion, Gyan Kand portion, Upasana Kand portion. So there's something like counteracts to sinful activities, to square up negative effects of one karma, to equalize. So but it doesn't mentions anything about the original identity, and because unless we reach the root of the problem, so unless we reach the root of the problem, we cannot rectify the causes, its effects. So there is a cause and effect. So cause is our misidentity with the body. We mistake ourselves as the body, and false designation as some material mind or some position, and we become perplexed and bewildered. So in this situation, what is needed is that one needs help from a realized person. So this science, how the soul or the living being is separate from this body, gross body and subtle body, and how he is an individual, and how he is bound in this situation, and how he can come out of it. So it is like you can Just think of a cage in a bird in a cage. So the bird in a cage, how much uh, facilities you can give him, food and water and whatever requires, so he won't be very comfortable there. Say another example, fish out of a water. So similarly, we being spirit soul are put into this condition. It is unnatural condition for the living being. So that's why we are always present in anxiety. So that anxiety is because of forgetfulness of one's own identity or our constitutional position. So our constitutional position is to act as a servant of Krishna. So now we are trying to be enjoyers. We want to enjoy the material nature, and this is causing the uh, it is causing the uh, starting of all the problems. So in this way, so once we come to this basic understanding about the identity, so then we can get to the solution. Then further in modern science, we say, or modern education system, this concept of soul or the science of soul, so it is like unknown. So more or less one is dealing with the material energies, material matter, and to the refined level they can go up to mind or study of psychology. But the science of soul is almost unknown. Srila Prabhupada explains very wonderfully, in very simple, explicit way, about the presence of soul in the heart. So what is the symptom of soul? Say somebody say, I cannot see soul. Can you show me soul? How can we believe? Science means empirical. You have to show it by experimentation. You have to verify. So how we can believe? So our point is these processes of acquiring knowledge, basically three. One is called pratyaksha, other is called anuman, and third is called shab praman. So here Vedas, it is every living being, entity, conditioned soul is having four defects. So it has cheating propensity, it commits mistake, it has imperfect senses, it is illusioned. So nobody is out of these four defects. So one who is above these four defects, so he can tell us the right process or right knowledge. So we have to accept this knowledge from the realized soul coming in parampara, shruti, smriti, and then this science of soul can be understood. So like consciousness is one of the symptom of the soul. Like our, say a person is living, so as every portion has some sensation or feeling. So if we pin somewhere, so there will be pain. So why is it so? Is it only because of the presence of soul? So that soul is the person, and it can be understood not very grossly, but by intelligence one can understand. And Prabhupada tells one example, say a chemical called cyanide. Nobody has ever got to come to know to its taste, how it taste is, because as soon as one touches even a small morsel or small grain of that compound, so immediately one dies. So because the chemical can permeate so fastly in the system and can cause its effect or death, so similar way the soul is spread as by the virtue of consciousness all over the body. So this then Prabhupada tells one more wonderful simple example, like in a there are various states of consciousness, and one is called awakened stage, sleeping stage, dreaming stage, and another one the realized stage or called turiya. So this during sleep, so another reference comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, that like one flies the kite, so similarly the uh, subtle body, gross body is lying on the bed, the subtle body, basically mind, it carries the soul like a kite, it is flying. So that's why it is precaution that one, if one is sleeping, so one should not disturb, should not make sound. So there may be some psychological implications. So I have some personal means one person known, so he got some problem because he was disturbed during the sleep by some of his friends some way. So he got mentally some dent or some impression he got. So that's why we should very mildly wake up somebody, by pressing his legs or something gently. So this then Prabhupada went on to write that but after that stage the soul comes back to the body when it is awakened. And personally also one time I was in some sleeping stage, and it was time to about get up early, maybe around 3 o'clock something. I don't know, somehow there was Mahamantra, Prabhupada, the voice, it was means running on a tape, and somehow I could feel just like we take a aeroplane ride or a ride, then the consciousness comes down, something like you feel in a plane, landing plane. So it is like coming in the body, something like feeling, and then you start hearing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Hare, Prabhupada speaking like this. Then I could realize, oh, time is up now, I have to get up, something like this. So it is some feeling of OBE, they say in science now, out of body experience. Then this way the soul comes back and there is normal day, then we get in awakened state, then we start realizing, oh, I am this body, I am this, I am doing this service, I am related to this. So this is actually all states of consciousness if we deeply study. So awakened stage, we are in bodily consciousness, then we are sleeping stage, we forget everything, then we are in dreaming stage, according to Bhagavatam somewhere it comes like Krishna book exactly, like one has seen a mountain, one has seen gold, so something will come like golden mountain or something we like, we have some liking there, so we remember that. Some fortunate people dream of Krishna also and of Guru also. Guru comes in their dreams, isn't it? You have experienced? It's personal thing. So anyway, so this is just talking about the states of consciousness. So then Prabhupada went on to say that when the soul doesn't comes back, when soul doesn't comes back, that is called death. Very simple. It goes on to another body. So how it goes? In Padma Purana it says, that shloka is there, na? Jalaja Navlakshani. So Krimira Jalaja Navlakshani Sthavaram Laksha Vinchati, something like this. So meaning is uh, there are 84 lakh of species. This is stated in Padam Puran. Actually, this is evolution. Naturally, evolution of the soul is taking place. This wonderful slok in Bhagavad Gita related to this. Prakrite guna karmani uh, uh, there is something guna karmani sarvasha ahankar vimodatma kartamiti manyate. So actually the soul is latent, soul is not doing anything. So everything is being carried away, carried on by the workings of nature. Nature is automatically working. It is not that we are doing anything. So it is just out of false ego, one may be thinking he is doing. Actually, we have to get to the soul. Soul is actually sleeping, it is in latent stage, it is not acting now. Mind is active. And out of false ego, we think me, body, and some designation, maybe doctor, scientist, teacher, professor, or ourselves also as devotee or whatever, though maybe somebody may be realized. So, this is all acts of false ego, you know. Means we are uh, we are thinking ourselves something, but actually we are not. So we should actually feel, intelligent person, that I am suffering. There is this samsar, we are present in samsar. Samsar means ever changing. Now it is something, earlier earlier it was not same, future it will be different. So where we tend to develop attachment to something temporary or body or bodily related, so and that changes, so then our attachment is broken, then it leads to pain. So attachment is the cause of all misery. So we are taught to lead a detached life. So this mind becomes attached to material thing, material object, and we are chasing after, and then we become caught in this temporary situation. Whereas soul, if you are like liberated person, you are very happy. So brahmbhut prasannatma na shochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti lapte param. So when the person is in a realized stage or the spiritual stage, so it is ananda. So that is a anandmayo bhayasat. There are so many things written in scriptures that this there is one more tiram pade naso bhajante ramante yogi namanante. So those who are yogis, so they are sitting in difficult postures, they do ashtanga yoga, severe penances. So how can they? So if we are said to sit even for maybe more than 1 hour, it becomes difficult. So but they are sitting for years. There are so many stories that one rishi was sitting on his hairs, matted hair. The bird, he made the nest, and he laid the eggs, and even there are many stories comes that there was saint on him, the even Hiranyakashipu also, he was not a saint though doing austerities. The anthill grew on his body. So how they can sit? They must be getting something, no? So so this way actually the spiritual state is a state of bliss. So this is just knowledge Lord Krishna is giving, that if we misidentify with this body, then the problem comes. And once we get to the knowledge, see, this all problem is because of this ignorance. So if we get enlightened, then by the words of a realized soul, because he has realized that thing, that will have effect on our heart, and when we follow that, then we can also realize that statement. And then once we realize, then we means our anxiety and this bewilderment, that will go away. So this how this uh, changes of body is taking place. There's so many other shlokas mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. They mentions, so like one shloka I'm getting, yanti devrata devan pitri nyanti pitri vrata bhutani yanti bhutasya yanti mam yanti mam iti mam. So Lord Krishna is telling that who are worshipping demigods, they will go to demigods. Who are worshipping their forefathers, they will go to forefathers. Those who are worshipping the ghostly beings, they will go there. And who worship me, they will come to me. Very easy. So, so we have to mold our life in such a way that somehow or other we can remember Krishna, and we can engage in this regulative principles of devotional life, and gradually we can overcome this illusion. Then in this purport, Krishna is trying to pacify Arjun that even if you are the grandfather, great grandfather, and your spiritual master Drona and Bhishma, to whom you are so much attached, they are killed also. So what is the cause of lamentation? So like one is changing old garment to new one. So say if you are being given a new dress and your old dress is torn, so it is not a cause of lamentation. So you should be happy with that. And so he is telling Arjun that you should not lament. So there is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita, urdhvam gachanti sattvastha madhye tishtanti rajasa jaganya gun karmasyo vittistha adho gachanti tamasa. So because they are in higher consciousness, divine consciousness, so at least they will go to heavenly planets, so they will get heavenly body or even higher planets. So there is no cause of lamentation here. So this way is trying to pacify Arjun, because it is the duty of the spiritual master to remove the distress of the disciple, because out of ignorance, so we are suffering in some illusions, some fears, some anxiety that is always there. Prabhupada tells that he told example when he was going to America. He says that we are here in this ship, we are crossing Atlantic ship, so we don't know where we are going. Captain Pandya must know everything, but now when storm comes, something comes, so we get in fear, because we are unnatural. Our natural place to be stay on land, so unnaturally we are present in water, so it is giving us some anxiety. So if some turbulence comes, torrent comes, so because similarly the soul belongs to the spiritual world, so naturally he should feel anxiety. That is natural. The spiritual planet is called in Sanskrit Vaikuntha. Kuntha means anxiety. Vaikuntha means where there is no anxiety. Very simple. So far we are here. Our duty should only be that we should try to self-realize. This is the solution to all problems. So even though this modern science, it may technology, it may try to provide so many solutions by the maneuvering of material energies, but there is no lasting solution. Prabhupada told, is there a science by which you can stop birth, disease, old age and death? So how much advanced you become in medical science, but you cannot solve the problem of death. Even one moment also, that is said, this durlabham manusham janmam. So this human birth, is very rare. Even demigods also, it is considered above demigod birth also. So it is called Tapobhumi, this earthly planet. So great rishis, sages, munis, tapasvis, they come here, they do their bhajan, they realize, even demigods are think that these human beings, they are so fortunate that Lord himself comes here, you see, Lord Krishna, and after that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this also, it is called this Dwapar Yuga, when Lord Krishna came, it is told that once in a kalpa only Lord Krishna himself comes. Other ages like this is called Divya Yuga. In other Divya Yuga, the expansion of Krishna or incarnation of Krishna comes, but this present Chatur, this is called Divya Yuga, the 4 cycles of Yuga. In this Kalpa, Lord Krishna himself came in this Dwapar Yuga, and next to that in Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself came. So I heard it is very special Yuga that Lord himself has come, and now through the mercy of the parampara, this knowledge has come to us, so, and is spreading also all over. So it is our duty. But Mahaprabhu says that janam sartha kari karo parupkar. So our first duty is to self-realize and then distribute. So unless we relish, so how we can distribute? Then Srila Prabhupada told in one example, he told, say, if one is eating food, then he must gain vitality, he must gain strength, he must gain energy. But if it is not going so then there must be some problem. Then Prabhupada told that if worms are present in the stomach or intestine, they eat up the food, they take all the nourishment, and though the person feels hungry, but he will not grow in, he won't become healthy. He told, say, if we are doing bhajan, sadhan, then one should feel happy, he should feel he is advancing, his anxieties are going away. There is some degree, overnight hall, we cannot become a pure devotee. Why? Because there is a nice song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He says, Anadi karam phale. So anadi, which has no beginning, from that time on, so how the soul came in material world, then nobody can say this. So there is always, Prabhupada writes here, there is the jiva is called khara, so it has a tendency to become conditioned. There are some beings called nitya siddha, and there are some beings called nitya baddha. So we belong to nitya baddha category, unfortunately. But we have to become siddha, means perfected being. So we can become by means of our sadhana siddha, by means of kripa siddha. And there are some nitya siddhas by the mercy of nitya siddhas like our Srila Prabhupada. So if we endeavor, then this soul basically belongs to marginal energy of the Lord. So it has its choice either to stay under external energy or internal energy. So if it transfers itself to internal energy, then it will be happy, that is spiritual energy of the Lord related to service of the Lord, beginning by the Vidhi Bhakti process. So gradually it should lead one to development of spontaneous bhakti. So bhakti basically means, Prabhupada writes very simply, the bhakti basically means love. So and he mentions that because we have love here, to means where we have attachment, there is our love. So because we have attachments here, so that's why in proportion to that we won't feel attachment to Krishna. So this has to be cultivated gradually. Lord Krishna says by gradual knowledge and renunciation, detachment. So one should advance in spiritual knowledge. So though the knowledge is very sublime, it is given. This is just a information for us. Even if we feed this knowledge in some machine or computer, laptop somewhere, so when we make the speaker on, it will also speak. So has the machine become self-realized? So there is a means we have to implement the knowledge in our lives. We have to practice it. So the primary thing Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj told is simplicity is Vaishnavism. So we have to become very simple at heart. And here from the sadhu, the Prabhupada writes many places, of the senses, most important sense is ear. So all bhakti starts by Navada Vidhi Bhakti, Shravanam Kirtanam. So it starts by hearing. So ear is the most important organ. So we have to hear this knowledge, and the effect will be there. Prabhupada always mentioned so many places. So one devotee asked him, so Prabhupada, should we chant mildly or loudly? He said, no, you should chant loudly. If our neighbors are disturbed, yes, if neighbors are disturbed, that means he has heard it, so then your mission is successful. So Prabhupada, so many joking ways. So, and he told that there are two forms of chanting. One is japa, one is kirtan. By japa you deliver yourself, and by this chanting, this kirtan, so whoever living beings hears, even lower beings, plants, creatures, whatever, so they are also benefited. So this is transcendental, though the sound should be pure, free from offenses. So there are three stages. First, as one starts practicing, so one chants in Namaprad, then gradually it becomes elevated to Namabhas, then to pure name. So pure name is the aim of our life. We should come to the stage of chanting pure name. So this it is said that if one chants in Namaprad stage, so all one's material desires get fulfilled. He gets bhukti. Bhukti means material desires is fulfilled. If he is chanting even in Namaprad stage, it doesn't matter. Then if one elevates his quality of chanting, and he chants in Namabhas stage. Abhas means feeling, like Prabhupada explains, morning hours before sunrise. It's called dusk, no, dawn. So that time the sun is not out, you cannot see brightness, but there's some symptoms. So some light feeling comes, birds are chirping, wind blows, and feel little some shining. So this is called Namabhas. Something like relate to compare it. Exactly when you will realize when you will attain Namabhas, how is it the feeling. So this stage, one is called, in Namabhas stage one attains Mukti. Mukti is the esteemed goal of the Gyanis. For us it is a, just stoppage only on the way. So devotees don't separately have to endeavor for these things. So these things automatically come on the process. So if one sits there or settles there, he remains in that stage only. Prabhupada writes one place, say one is a karmi first, so he has taken to karma yoga something. He has attained up to the stage of Gyan, or he has realized the Brahman or knowledge or something, and he settles there. So he is designated as a Jnani. Somebody gets some siddhi out of doing some austerities, penances, or anything, say some bona fide process you take to mention, and there are some mystic powers comes, even by following simple rules of even truth or wisdom. say even Prabhupada writes of Gandhi. At a later stage, he started practicing brahmacharya with that might and power. He gave challenge to the that time mighty British Empire. Prabhupada gave this example. So this by this austerity, when you gain some powers, special powers, you go on following some rules for some years or decades, then you get some special power other than other means over others. So then this Namabha stage, above that, so when we take to chanting of pure name, then this Lord Krishna name is non-different from Lord Krishna himself. So then this name reciprocates with you, and it reveals you your relation, your identity. This is called self-realization. And unless you know yourself, how you can advance in relation? Say, I cannot have affection for stone or for a wall, so or a dead body or dead matter. There has to be some reciprocation, feelings, reciprocation of feeling. And this Rupa Goswami says, na 6 means to develop relationship with devotees: dadati pratigrihnati, guhyam akhyati prichhati, bhunjate bhujayate. This way we develop some feelings or relation with the others, even in normal human society also. So similarly with God, if you do something with love and devotion, Lord Krishna himself says, patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktaya prayachati. Bhaktaya means my devotee. Devotee means who is a lover of God, means should love. So unless this bhakti is unless there is love, there is no meaning of surrender or bhakti. So if love is there, then it is real surrender. One can surrender really. If there is no love, then it is either artificially we are doing, or because authorities we have to answer the authorities, or we are doing it partially. We are doing something we are not, or we are doing it conditionally, means we put forward some condition that if this is so and so, then so and so. Krishna give me this, then I do this, something like this business. So Lord Krishna says he is not a devotee. Vanik cha uchyate. It is called he is a businessman. He is doing business with God. Nacha me bhritya. He is not a servant. So we should try to become a devotee. Devotee means try to relate to Krishna by following the order of Guru and surrendering to the instructions of the Guru. The mercy is hidden there actually. Somebody asked Prabhupada, give me mercy. The Prabhupada said, mercy is already there in the instructions. It is like hidden. Cannot be mercy. What is mercy? They say Vivekananda or somebody, Ramakrishna Mission, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, something. They say he touched him and there was divine transference of power, something. But this is bogus. So actually there may be some powers may be transferred. I am not saying it was nothing, maybe something, but for bhakti actually is innately, naturally present in the heart. It is not any artificial imposition. So it has to be brought out. So by Mahaprabhu says in his prayers, Cheto darpana marjanam bhav mahadavagni nirvapanam. So we concentrate on the first words. So this mirror of the heart. So by taking Lord's name, it becomes cleansed. Then one can see himself, his form, and so this is the process. Then it leads one to Ananda. Then he can feel the soul. So once he feels, then he becomes situated. He becomes situated in his glory, and then that gives its the relation stability. So then going further here in this sloka, very prominent word came, dhira. So Prabhupada writes one place that Kalidas mentioned one example of dhira in his novel or natak called Kumar Sambhavam. So can anybody tell the perfect example of dhira? You can tell? Dhira? Lord Shiva. हाँ आप बोलिए. हाँ जी स्टडी. या मैं एग्जाम्पल पूछ रहा था. Example is Lord Shiva. So actually demigods and asuras, the demons, they are always in fighting. They are always fighting with each other. So once demigods became weak little, so they wanted one strong commander in chief. So they discussed that to approach Parvati ji to beget a son from Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is greatest Vaishnava. Vaishnava naam Yatha Shambhu. So then to beget a child. So Parvati went to Lord Shiva. So he was in meditation and he tried to induce him. But Lord Shiva was unperturbed. So that's why he is called Dhira. But there is another incident in Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Shiva he developed some desire to see Lord Krishna's beauties excels everything. So excels millions of cupids, Kandarpa, Koti, Kamaniya, Vishesha, Shobham. So he was very attracted. So he developed some desire that I want, if Lord is in woman's form, how much more beautiful he will be. So for that Lord Krishna once took a Mohini form. This is another story in Bhagavatam. So then Lord Shiva became attracted by that form and he became bewildered and became very happy and satisfied. See my master, how, because nobody can agitate Lord Shiva, nobody can disturb Lord Shiva. But Mohini Murti did, so he became very happy that my Lord is so attractive. So these are the pastimes, Leelas. Then for this Arjuna's to remove his anxiety, when Lord Krishna stated him that because your grandfather, they are very pious, they are advanced, so they will be going to heaven, higher planets, so you should not lament. So related to this, Prabhupada gave one example, some story like that. Once there was a sadhu, so he gave 4 people 4 different types of blessings. So he told Muni Putro Ma Jivo. So the brahmachari, you don't live, means you die. Generally it is said, not, they cannot tell you die. Ma Jivo, you don't live. Then Rajputro Chiranjeevi, the son of a king, the prince, you live long. Then to butcher, he told Jivoma Marova, Jivona Marona, you don't live, you don't die. Then he told to a saintly person, Sadhavo, Jivova Marova, either you live or you die. So explanation goes on like this. He told Muniputro, Brahmachari, he is doing austerity. Prabhupada explains, he is doing austerities, cooking for Guru, doing service in temple, etc. etc. So he is leading a hard life. So he is in situated in proper consciousness. So if he dies, he will sure go back to Godhead. Another wonderful uh, point comes by the prayers of King Kulashekar, one saintly king in South India. Krishna Twadiyya Padapankaja Panjarantam Advaiva Vishat Me Manasa Rajhamsa Prana Prayana Samay Kaphavat Pittau Kantavarodhan Vidhau Smaranam Kutaste. So Srila Prabhupada mentions, he liked this song very much. He mentions again and again. So King Kulashekar is praying such way that there is a tendency of the swan to dig in the root of the lotus. So now my mind is digging on your lotus. So I want to leave body now. At the time of death, I don't know. I will be my body will be blocked by the cup with Vayu. I won't be able to remember you, so I want to leave body now. So this another statement comes in Bhagavatam, that this body is made of three dhatu. So when the end comes, then it can become clogged by the kapha, then the consciousness becomes means lost. So in this way, if one leaves body, it is good. So to Rajputra, coming back to the story, he told Chiranjeevi, because the son of a prince, so he is enjoying good life, life of full sense enjoyment, sense gratification. But because of sense gratification will lead one to degradation. The enjoyment or the sense gratification is the degradation, is the starting of the degradation of person or the civilization. So this son of the king, he is enjoying. There are so many examples, like the sons of Kubera, Manigriv, Hayagriv, even one great sage Bilwa Mangal Thakur. So he was a very very rich person. So he became addicted to prostitute, this, that, etc. Though he was he was a devotee of the bhav stage, that level also it can happen. So what to say of us? So the Rajputra, so if he now, as long as he lives, he can enjoy life. So once he has to leave body, he will surely go to hell. So to him the sage gave blessing, you live long. Then to butcher he told, you don't live, you don't die, because living he is doing heinous activities, and after death he will be put into hell eternally. It is said, as many as there are hairs on the body of the cow, the person who are involved in the slaughtering of the cow, they have to take that many births in the hell, that much time. So see what their future is. So and to sadhu, to a self-realized person, he told, Jivova Marova. So for you, either you live or you die, it doesn't matter. You are here also Krishna conscious, and once you die, you will be Krishna conscious. So these are the blessings. Then one nice story is coming in my mind, related to something like to depict about this about the person, about a self-realized person. So once, and there is something related to reincarnation also in this. The story is spoken, I heard from my Guru Maharaj, probably by Prabhupada only. Once there was a gentleman, he earned so much money and made a good house, and he had family, sons, and over a period of time he has to leave body, and he died. So then because of his attachment to his house, but his karma was something like this, so he has to take birth as a cobbler. But because he was attached to his house, so he took birth nearby place to his home, but he was a cobbler. He was a cobbler sitting outside his house, mending shoes. So once upon a time, young person from his house, from the house he made earlier, he came for mending the shoes. So that person, he was negotiating on some price, and that person was beating that boy, started beating the cobbler with his shoes. So there was a turmoil. Many people started gathering, and they say, why you are beating the cobbler? And everybody was taking the side of the cobbler, because once who is downtrodden, people generally develop some affection for him. So, but then one person could notice a saint or sadhu like person, yogi muni like person, standing little at distance, and he was watching with amazement this scene, that person, boy or the rich man from that house, is beating the cobbler. Okay, then but he was not feeling any warmth or affection for the cobbler. So why so? So that person became little curious. One person amongst the crowd, that he is looking with different eyes. He is not affected. He is not feeling sentimental or emotional for this cobbler. So, but then as the saintly person noticed that the person is observing me, he left that place. Actually, saintly persons also realize they want to stay away from the crowd. There is one quality also mentioned, that who is on spiritual path, they like to stay in isolation, because it is internal process. So one has to go deep inside his relation or bhajan or surrender or sadhana. So then he left away. They avoid the crowd to be noticed by the public, isn't it? That person chased the sadhu. So sadhu was running away. Say, hey, Sadhu Baba, so you please, I have some query. I feel inquisitive, and I see something. Your eyes are little different, and there was some smile on your face, whereas others were having some compassion on that cobbler. So why so? Then he told, actually, no, I will not tell. Then he started going. Said, no, please, no, I have understood. You have realized. You have some other information which we cannot see. You know something. I could feel some special feelings on your face. So please tell. He was just somehow coaxing him to speak out. Anyway, sadhus are basically generally merciful. If one approaches with proper spirit, then they give some blessings or knowledge or share something. Then that saintly person, he told actually that boy or the rich man who was beating the cobbler, so the cobbler is the father of that boy, because he made this house, but his karma was not good, so he acquired money by some illegal means, something, so he has to take a lower birth, but because of his attachment he has to take birth there. So so this is the reason. So there is everybody is reaping the results of his karma or his past activities. So sometimes some people feel why bad thing happened to good people, etc. So this is all very complicated, this law of karma, but it is very justified. So this way we can understand that the soul is reincarnating according to the different karma, and so the aim. I remember one more example. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the Prabhupada tells very distinctly that the physiology of the development of the body, that by the semina from the father, it is injected in the womb of the mother. Then because of the secretions, then body is formed, which is in the size of a pea. Pea, vegetable. So that pea gradually evolves and grows, and it uh, then 9 holes are developed in that body. Then gradually it grows more, and in 7th month it is much complete, and the consciousness comes. Before that it is in hidden stage. And then after 9 months, 10th month, by some natural process, the body comes out. So the soul is the same, and then because of changing of body, it is appearing as different. So now when it comes out from the womb of the mother, then similar as Lord Krishna is very nicely here explaining, no? That from boyhood to youth to old age, the body is changing, the embodied soul is passing, means dehina, the soul, embodied soul is constant, but his body is changing. And similarly, scientifically, this way, at time of death it passes into another body as per its karma. So there is no the dhira or the controlled person should not become bewildered by this change. So Prabhupada went on to mention that why is this anxiety? Anxiety even gets in ignorance, so then he gets anxiety. So if one is situated in the self, then he won't be restless. So to stay in that stage of consciousness of self and remembering Krishna should be the goal of a yogi. Yogi means we are also bhakti yogi by the means of bhakti. So then we will be naturally situated. We will remain peaceful. And anyhow other, if we fall from that position of our self, so that will lead us into the state of anxiety. This is for natural. So then Prahlad Maharaj in 7th canto, when Hiranyakashipu, his father, asked him, what you have learned, you tell me what you have learned from your guru, from your spiritual master. The Prabhupada explains very nicely. Hiranyakashipu, he's a demon, he's a asura. His name Hiranya means gold, Kashipu means soft bed. So he's addicted to gold and money and women. This is asura. Prahlad, his son, is one of the 12 Mahajan. So even a pure devotee can take birth from an asura. So this Prahlad means Pratyaksha Rupena Ahlad. Ahlad means pleasure. So he is full of pleasure. He is full of spiritual power, spiritual potency. So he is telling Tad sadhu manye asura varya dehinam. Dehinam means one who has gotten this body, means the embodied soul. Here same word is there, na? Dehina, dehino, first word. So there he is telling asur varya dehinam. So dehinam means he is those who has accepted his body as self. So sada samudvigna means, sada means always, samudvigna means always he is in anxiety. Dhiyo asat hitam, asat graham, because of accepting temporary thing as his self. So he is in sada samudvigna, always in anxiety. So say if one is identifying himself with body, bodily concept, with family, wife, children, so he will be always in anxiety. So because we identify, this misidentifying is the cause of problem, because misidentify ourselves with this body, then we get in anxiety. So there is one wonderful statement somewhere in the scriptures. With this, I will conclude. Conclude this today's lecture. It goes on to says, Aradhito yadi haris tapasa tat kim. If one is engaged in devotional service of Hari, then what is the need of doing austerities or penances? Then further, anaradhito yadi Hari tapasa tathat kim. Means if even by doing so much austerities, one has not attained Hari, then what is the use of that austerity? Further, antar bahir yadi Hari tapasa tatha kim. If one is realized, inside he can see Hari, outside he can see Hari, then what is the need for him to do tapasya? So the conclusion is that if somehow if one gets into the relation with Hari by the means of devotional service, then the process is justified, all the activities is justified, and one attains the goal of life, and there is all solution there. And if somehow one cannot relate to Hari or reconnect to Hari or relationship with him, there is no use of his austerities or his penances or anything he do in life. So I end here. So I like anybody to add anything or say anything, any comment. So okay, we stop here then.